We are, as you can see on the screen, traveling to the Philippines tonight. So welcome everyone, those who are joining us every other Thursday, and also those for whom this may be the first time. I am just giving you a little bit of an overview of what to expect tonight. There'll be a few introductions, a little bit about our company, and then we are looking at where in the Philippines are we going tonight, because for those of you who have participated in many of our webinars, this is the second time we're doing the Philippines, but we're going to different areas tonight than we were last year. Then we'll be talking about Magic Island Resort and all about diving in that area, and then Magic Oceans Resort. And then there's going to be Q&A at the end. We'll tell you where we're going in 2 weeks. And just as a few housekeeping items, you should be all muted. However, you can put questions and comments in the chat. And so we are asking that you keep your questions till the end of the presentation, which we will then go back and forth with Desiree from Magic Resorts and get all your questions answered that have not been answered in the presentation. This is also being recorded, so in sometime next week, thanks to our friend Kevin, who's been editing all our videos, this will show up on our YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to, or you can just go through our website and find it there as well. Just a few notes about who Fly&C is, for those of you who may not know. This is our team here of 5. We have been doing dive travel since 1997, which means it is our 25th anniversary this year. So we have a combined experience of 70 years between the 5 of us. Several of us have been with the company for over 23, 24 years. We represent pretty much every major dive destination in the world, as well as all the reputable dive resorts and liveaboards that you can think of. We are IATA appointed, which means that you can, we handle your tickets directly with the airline, and it's a much easier transition. We don't need to be on hold with airlines for hours and hours on end. We book groups. Most of our groups are booked through dive shops, but not all of them. And anybody usually can join them. They are normally all on our website, unless it's an absolute private group. But I must admit, we're a little bit behind with that right now because we just can't keep up with things. And then we do individuals, basically when you want, how long you want, with whom you want to travel. We can arrange that for you as well. So 25, some of you have seen this already, is this year will be all about 25. You will be hearing 25 a lot. And we have come up with a monthly challenge that on the 25th of every month, we will switch up, and we will also draw on the 25th of every month. So this current challenge, which has been in our newsletter as well on Facebook and Instagram, is that we want to hear your top 3 most favorite dive destinations. So we're talking countries or major areas that either you have been to, or most likely that you have been to. And we're compiling the top 25 out of those. They will be published in our next newsletter, and we will draw among all of those who are participating for a $100 gift card. So you can either submit this to contest@flyanc.com or on our Facebook page or Instagram. And then, because there wasn't really an opportunity for you to do this in January up till now, we have actually come up with 25 reasons why we love what we do. So you can find this on our website as well. Now, 25 also, and we didn't mention this 2 weeks ago, calls for a grand prize. And some of you may have seen this already in our newsletter. We haven't really made a big deal out of it, but tonight we do want to make a big deal out of it because it is a 9-night Magic Resorts dive vacation for 2 that we will be giving away. Thanks to Magic Resorts, who is sponsoring tonight's webinar and is with us online here. You may ask, what's included? Well, it's 4 nights at Magic Island Resort and 5 nights at Magic Oceans Resort. Includes breakfast and dinner, 10 boat dives per person, transfers between the resorts and the Cebu airport. So this is a pretty magical, pun intended, prize. You're asking, how can I enter for this? Well, funny you should ask. This is how you can be entered into the draw. Every booking made with us for a dive vacation between January 1st of this year to December 1st of this year will be automatically entered into our draw. You can obviously be entered once or twice. It is new bookings. And some of you that are online here have booked with us in the last 4 or 5 weeks already, that how old this year is already. And you can take this prize all the way till August 31st of 2024. So there's a pretty big time frame that you have time for. And I do want to say, first of all, thank you to all of you who continue to book with us, who are loyal to us. We really, really appreciate that. And many of you are also clients of a dive shop. And we do want to mention that we do want you to support local and support your local dive shop. So if you are a client of a dive shop, the dive shop very likely will benefit when you book a trip with us. We partner with dive shops. So just wanted to throw that out there. And obviously, thank you for booking with us. There is also quite a few people online here tonight who are traveling in the next 2 or 3 months with us. And we're just asking for your patience to get your travel documents and all the details, because there is so much going on right now. There is still the COVID protocols for every destination keeps changing. In addition, there is still rebookings that need to be done. And a lot of people want to change or add a new booking with very short notice. And so that keeps us hopping these days. So for those of you who are near their computer, I do want to run a little pop quiz right now. So be ready to jot something in the chat. The question is, and there may be a little prize for the first person putting the right answer in the chat. What's so special about today? If you know that, go ahead and put this in the chat. And the first person with the correct answer, let me tell you what the correct answer is. So Ann Keller, you are the winner of a book on Philippines diving, because we couldn't have timed this any better. The Philippines opened up to international travelers as of today, February 10th. So thank you for playing this with me, with us. We are so super stoked and excited. We know there's probably still some logistical hiccups or so, and the resorts are just trying to get up to speed. I am now soon going to hand it over to Desiree here from Magic Resorts. And guess how late or early it is in the Netherlands right now? It is 2 a.m. and Desiree actually got up early for us. And Desiree, welcome in the middle of the night.
Great. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Indeed, here from the Netherlands. Thank you very much, first of all, to Petra and her team for allowing us to present ourselves. We love the Fly and Sea Dive Adventure team, and we love to get them over to the Philippines. Philippines is a very, very large country. A lot of people don't actually know, but it is really more than 1,100 miles in length and a little bit less in wide. So it's like massive. That's why also the seasons of the Philippines can be really different from the north to the center to the south. Like the north of the country really has a rainy season. The center of the country does not have a rainy season, and the south part actually joins in with the center. So it's a huge country. We have over 7,000 islands. Not all, of course, inhabited, but it's really big. As you can see in the red circle, this is called the Visayan area over here. And over there's the international airport at Cebu. You have several other international airports, Manila, Davao, and two others. Usually the flights from America and Canada come into either Manila or into Cebu, which both are really nice and modern airports. If we zoom into the Visayan area, you will see the islands of Cebu and BOHOL. So like I said, you arrive at the airport internationally, and you can fly in there from Vancouver, Los Angeles, San Francisco. There's all flights going with several airline companies to Cebu, or you can fly international into Manila, and from Manila there's flights going into Tagbilaran, so straight to Bohol. So it's really convenient flying there. The first resort I'm going to talk to you about is our Magic Island Resort, which we opened up 16 years ago already. Time flies. From the airport here at Lapu-Lapu City, it's a 2.5-hour drive to the place called Malbo. And there we have our little Magic Island Resort. It's a small, cozy resort. We've got 10 bungalows, so we can cater up to 22 guests only. So, it's not crowded, it's not massive. And we like it that way. We like to dive small groups and not in big numbers. The 10 bungalows are spread out over the property. We've got some pool views, some gardens, some sea view. And in front, what you can see beautifully is the house reef. That's like you just get from the dive center into the water and you're just already there. See here 2 bungalows at the pool. As you see, everybody gets their own bungalow, so you don't hear your neighbor smashing his bathroom door in the middle of the night because you all have your own bungalow. You've got your little private balcony with comfortable seats, and there's the sunbathing bed spread out over the whole property. Inside, we have tried to be a little bit flexible. So we have a few bungalows that have the queen beds. We have bungalows that have a queen and a single bed. And we do have in this resort a nice honeymoon suite. It's just a little bit bigger. It's at full seaside, so you have the sea view. Further, it's the modern Western style bathroom. You've got yourself your amenities. Also at the front of the sea, so with the sound of the ocean in your ears, you can have a lovely massage. We do offer 4 dives a day, but some people think it's a lot. Yeah, you can make 2 in the morning, have a relaxed lunch, and then just go in for a massage. There's 2 beds. But if you want it privately, you can have the massage by yourself, or if you want it together with your friends, your buddy, then we can do 2 massages at the time. There is small lounge areas outside, and on the picture left below you can see the lounge area inside, which also has, of course, the books with all the nudibranch and fishes and stuff that you can see at our place in our dive sites. This is a view from the evening. You can see very well here that the sea comes straight at the resort, and below is the dive center. On top of the dive center, we usually set our tables for the dinner time. So dinner is outside with the nice lights from the island where you're watching at, and the little sounds of the small waves coming to the resort. It's also nice sitting down there already with a pre-dinner drink, watching the divers come back from their night dive, which are really awesome, the night dives at our place. Same shot, but done by daylight, where you can see in the middle, you can see the little massage room. We have little corners to drink some coffee. And then, of course, here the major part, that's the dive center. The boats come straight here to the dive center, so it's a very easy going on and off the boats. You build up your gear outside, and the guys will bring everything for you on the boat. You don't need to carry, just bring yourself and a sunny smile on your face, and let's go diving. And with Let's Go Diving, I mean, this is our logo, and we have so many of these beautiful, beautiful little mandarin fish. The male is the biggest one, that's the one on the right. And the females, they love to cozy up with him when the sun goes down. So it's a nice dive to do before dinner time, because you get back and you have a relatively normal dinner time. Well, if you do a night dive, you get back a little bit later. The kitchen stays open until you're back from your dive, and you can still have your dinner. These are the boats that we're using. We've got 3 of them. They, at this moment, are being well maintained, because the past 2 years we used only one boat because we were open for the local tourists, and they do some snorkeling. Unfortunately, the Filipinos don't dive so much themselves. So we had the boats on dry dock, 2 of the 3, and at this moment we're doing big maintenance to get them nice, beautiful, fresh, done before you guys arrive to our place for some lovely diving. Here's the dive sites. It's about 26 dive sites. We've got walls, we've got slopes, we've got some sandy patches. So it's a little bit of everything, although BOHOL itself, the highlight is more at wall diving, coral-covered wall diving. And we do have the few mock sites, although in the other resorts where I come to in a few moments, there is more mock diving. Some people like this better, some people like that better, and that's why actually my husband and me think the combination of both resorts is nice, because here in Magic Island, BOHOL, you have more the wall diving, and the other resort offers more mock sites as to that. Besides that, we're a PADI 5-star IDC center, but that's beside the point, because most probably all of you who are watching are divers. The diving here in BOHOL is for beginning to super experienced. We don't have major currents here. It's an easy go with the flow, or sometimes you even have to swim yourself. So it's just a good, relaxed diving. Let's get some pictures. The sardine swarm. Yes, it's still there, and it's still going around and going crazy. Petra has a video. The sardines are amazing. It's like a million billions, and they just go around you. They don't bump into you or anything. They just go around you. So they make tunnels. They make tunnels going up, then you can see the sunlight shine through. It's a really, really stunning sight. And they have been stable at the same dive site basically for 10 years. So we really can guarantee there. I mean, they've been there for 10 years every day. And for me, it's such a beautiful sight. I could spend a whole dive just cruising through them. And if you're lucky, I mean, at a little bit more deeper deeper area of the sardines, you could bump into a whale shark or even a treasure shark, because the treasure shark's favorite snack are the sardines. Beside that, of course, the lovely corals, leather corals, hard corals, soft colors, sponges, and the tiny, tiny little Denise seahorse, in which, by the way, the male is pregnant, not the female. And this is a beautiful shot of a very high pregnant male. This is me in better times. Let's say this is about 5 years ago. But yeah, very, very soon we will be back there enjoying the warm water and the sun and the beautiful diving. Loads of turtles. If you're a turtle fan, you will see turtles every dive. 2, 3 on the house reef itself. We have about 5 turtles, from nice, cozy, small one until like really big table size, massive turtles. We do the day trip to the whale shark area. It's in the south. It's a whole day. You leave early in the morning, like 6 in the morning. You're back around 3:30, 4 p.m. in the afternoon. You've got your lunch there. We do a dive and a snorkel. And if you're lucky, he's just cruising by you along the reefs in Mobile. So then you don't need to do the day trip. You just see it like this when it comes ahead towards you, and it will go around you. But yeah, when they can be like pretty coming close and ignoring you and think like, oh, you move away from me. After all the diving, like I said, about 26 dive sites, we do have nice things to end your stay with us. This is the canyoneering trip. It's jumping off small waterfalls, it's swimming, it's hiking, and at the end you're rewarded with a lovely Filipino barbecue, and you have time to relax in some more little pools, which are constantly refreshed with the colder water. So it's a refreshing day. That's the end of the Mobile stay, and then you could either go back to the airport, or from the airport you could hop on the ferry, which is the ocean jet, and that ferry will take you to Tagbilaran. Or you took the plane from Manila and you went with the plane straight to Tagbilaran. From Tagbilaran to our other resort, which we opened up in 2015, it takes about 1.5 hours. It's a beautiful trip along the coastline, lots to see already from a little bit peak view of the inside of the inlands of the islands. It's a beautiful green island, BOHOL, and after 1.5 hours, you reach our resort, and you will have to look because somewhere in the green it's hidden. So Anda is like a green hidden gem of BOHOL. It's very little tourism, which just makes it perfect. Perfect if you're a nature lover and a diver and like to enjoy your vacation. You can see here the reef. It's a gorgeous reef, beautiful walls and slopes. The close-up of the resort, we have the bungalows at the pool. The terrain of the place slopes down towards the ocean, so the bungalows in the back actually have sea view. because they're elevated. Then we have some bungalows that have the pool and garden view, and then we have again bungalows with the sea view. We have a little man-made beach because we're on a cliff. The cliff is not high; it's 2 meter high, let's say 6 feet high. But because it's a cliff, we made a small beach there, which is nice for hanging out, soaking up a little bit of sun, enjoying the sunset, doing a beach barbecue, then you can just watch and enjoy the fantastic views with sometimes some dolphins passing by. The inside of the bungalows, we have the king size bed, and we have on the right, what you see on the screen is a couch, but it's actually a bed. So if you're two buddies, or if you're traveling with a child, the rooms are really, really big enough for 3 persons. There's the split type aircon, same as in the other resort. We have a mini bar, have a little safety deposit box where you can put your passport away for your stay, maybe even your mobile phone, and really enjoy the Philippines. Again, a modern bathroom, like I said, the mini bar, the Wi-Fi. Every room has their own Wi-Fi. There's a coffee and tea amenity there if you want to enjoy the sun going up in the morning with your own little cup of tea. We opened the Mahika Spa. We have 2 cabins, air-con cabins for massage, one with 1 bed and one with 2 beds. We have a hand and nail area, which is on the left side. And there's also a plateau made where you can just do some yoga meditation for yourself and relaxing. And it's all set up in a very little Japanese kind of style. Here you see the inside, left top, the lady having a very nice foot massage and foot spa, then the massage beds, and we had a lady coming in for yoga, and at this moment we're checking out if she's still available to come in once or twice a week for some yoga sessions on our beach, which is, I don't know which is better, doing the night dive or doing the sunset yoga. Maybe try both on your vacation with us. The heart of the resort, of course, our dive center, it's big. We have camera tables with electricity, with good lights, with air sprays. If you want to use the air spray to dry your housing, everybody in the dive center gets their own spot. You can hang your gear. It's all going to be there for you for your stay with us. Big areas to rinse the gear, a special area, of course, for cameras and for your regulators to be rinsed. That's not next to the suits. We have the pictures on the walls of all the nudie branch, because Anda diving, BOHOL diving is nudie branch diving. We have seriously so many different species counted for. Coming to that, we have about 28 dive sites. The diving area is really bigger in Anda. And if you look at the dive sites 1 to 10, those are the wall dives, or actually it's 4 to 10. Those are really steep walls, and they go deep, really deep. You don't need to go deep because the nicest area is about 20 to 30 meters deep, and it's full of soft corals and gorgonians and so much life and little caves between all the corals, and lots of fish and small critters hidden. If we look further, the sites 11 to 20. They have lovely coral gardens and then slopey sands. So that's an area where you can do both. You can hang out in the sand if you like to and find the critters there, or you can just stay in the coral area and enjoy the colors. most of the time I'm in the coral area and my husband is just a little bit below me. Not a lot, because it just really goes from coral straight into sand. And he's enjoying the critters at the sandy area and I'm enjoying my coral. So it's a perfect thing for if you have different interests for diving and still want to make the same kind of dive. Then we have the muck diving. And then if we take it up to 27, 28, it's Lamanok. I'll get an air view from that later. That's a magical place to visit, to dive. These are examples of pieces of corals. As Anda has very limited tourism, as I told you, it's untouched. So corals are big and colorful, and like this soft coral. I have a different picture, which is not really good, but it has a diver with it, and I always do pick this one to show you. It's massive. It's the almost 6 feet big, a soft coral. Imagine that, this massive, sticking out of the wall, and this is just one of them. Here, this is one of our dive guys, and she's absorbing the gorgonian there, and it's twice the size of her. And I know she's Filipino size, but still, it is big and it's healthy. Here we have the Bagibanti seahorse. It's our logo because they're everywhere, literally everywhere. And we have them also in the yellow-orange color. Seahorses, many more seahorses. So we have the spiny ones, the regular ones, and yes, these are usually found in the sandy areas, and you think there's just some rubble and stones, and then all of a sudden you're like, hang on, it's moving, and then it turns out to be a little seahorse. Also, this little feller and his family, we have plenty. The blue-ringed octopus, and look at this, flamboyant cuttlefish, normal cuttlefish, bobtail squid, from the big octopus to the tiny ones. Lots of these are to be found day and night. Yeah, what to say about this picture? I mean, I love frogfish. They're so ugly that you have to love them. But we also have the hairy frogfish in Anda. I have, unfortunately, never seen a hairy frogfish in Malbo, but here we have one. We've seen several colors, including also a little tiny black one that looked like Bob Marley, who just had been out in town for the night. Crazy, beautiful. Also swarms of fish, because it's open ocean that we have there in front of us, which gives a little bit more current. Still not a strong current, still doable for every type of diver, but just sometimes turn your back to the reef and just go and look out there, because there's schools like this, like tornadoes, but also these are jackfish, sardines, the barracuda, yellowfin barracuda, a little bit bigger barracuda, and whale sharks, of course, passing by. This is just a hilarious, beautiful picture with the eyes going everywhere. It's in the sandy areas close to the corals, because there you got this place to hide. And then, like I said, nudie branch. Couldn't pick which one to show you, so super small, too big, like really big, like hand size, big. Some are seasonal, some you see more in the nighttime, like there's a Spanish dancer on this picture, on the slide. She's usually only seen at nighttime. And yeah, you just have to have a good eye. Luckily, our dive masters have, and they found Sean the sheep. And once we knew where to find the holy, now it's not the Holy Grail yet, but it's close to the Holy Grail of nudie branch. But once we knew where to find it, we discovered it everywhere, and we have it in several colors. Like left below is the white, and the one in the main frame is more with the yellow, and we also have with the pink spots at the end of the tip. It's so lovely to see. This is the Lamanok dive site I told you about before. You can see the reef beautifully from the top, and it's got schools of fish. It's got the critters. It's got nudie branch. We call it nudie branch heaven. It is a 45-minute boat ride to give you an idea of the stretches. So the longest we are per boat is 45 minutes. But our schedule is we do 2 dives in the morning. So we hang out there, we make a dive, we've got coffee, tea, fruits and snacks on the boat. We just hang out, we make another dive, and if we do take the effort to go over here, we have the lunch on a beautiful, pristine white beach, where the staff is then waiting for you with a Filipino barbecue. After that, it's your choice. We make a 3rd dive, or we go back to the resort for some relaxing. Night dives by boat, night dives on the house reef. Just go out there and explore. There's so much to see. Also, BOHOL has a whale shark interaction. There was a spot discovered where there's so many shrimps coming out of the sand in the nighttime that the whale sharks feed themselves, and it's just amazing to see those giants there. Although it does visit under dive sites also a lot, it prefers the muck sites, probably because of the shrimps. So everybody has their micro lens on their camera, and then this massive giant joins. This is a picture that the locals were playing around our boats while we had the barbecue. So then in the end, we ended up playing together with the locals in the water and take this nice shot. We have amazing gatherings like that and outings. So let's say you're not a diver, like wanting to go into the water 4 times a day. We offer also half-day trips and full-day trips. And the middle shot, the dark one, is our Firefly tour. That's like Christmas. The trees are just glowing like a Christmas tree. It's beautiful. It's a little tour on a boat through a mangrove area. And you have an early dinner, then you drive out there. It's a 20-minute drive, so it's not that long. The boat ride is about an hour going up and back on that mangrove river, and then you're back at the resort around 9:30 p.m. Have another drink in the bar and have an early night, so you're fresh for the next day of diving. It's a fairy tale tour, and we thought it would be great for children, but actually all the adults, everybody is just mesmerized by this little wonder. We have the monkeys, or actually a student called them monkey, the tarsiers. They're primates. They're in a protected area and well taken care of. They can come and go from that area that we are allowed to visit, because they have the whole forest and we're allowed to visit the tiny parts. Where we can see hopefully 4 or 5 pieces in the tour, sometimes 10. You always see them because a guide will join you, but they're in their natural habitats, which is good. We have the chocolate hills. We go adventure, we go zip lining, which is hilarious. I screamed the whole time the first time I did it, but it's really fantastic. Beautiful views and some adrenaline kicking in. There's waterfalls, rice fields. That's a little bit the end of my story. And behind this, we still have a video. Times have changed a little bit over the past 2 years, but like Petra said, we're so super happy that starting today, the Philippines opens the borders again for the foreign tourists. The past 2 years, we both Magic Resorts, we survived because we had the local tourists, which was also really fun teaching them. But we will be so happy if we can welcome the whole lot of you again. It's been 2 long years, so we're really looking forward to it. Requirements are not that tough to do. Of course, you need to have, at this moment, still the proof of vaccination. Hopefully, within the coming, 6 months, that will go away, but who knows? You need a negative PCR test, same as most countries. Of course, your passport needs to be valid for at least 6 months, and you need to have a travel insurance that covers COVID-19 up to a minimum coverage of $35K US. So these are not really a lot of requirements to be able to travel to the Philippines, and then you have absolutely no quarantine. You just can go straight to your resort, which, by the way, of course, we will take care of you because we will pick you up at the airport, and from A to Z, we will arrange it. When you arrive at the airport, so every detail in the airport is already there to make your arrival as comfortable and easy as possible, and as safe as possible. So I was really very happy to hear that the airports have adapted already to the COVID regulations over a year ago. This is the end of my story. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I was clear enough. My English was good enough. If you have questions.
There's a number of people who've already put questions into the chat, and so I'm going to read those off. Sandy is asking, amazing fish life. What is the best time of year to visit?
Oh, a very good question. The most stable weather conditions would be October till the end of June. That is from the past. What we have learned nowadays is that, like I said, the central part of the Philippines does not have the rainy season. So we don't have all days of just pouring rain. But July, August, September used to be the months that we had tropical storms. It's difficult. We call it diving all year round, but if you want the most chance for sun, just stick in the window October to June.
Then Frankie is asking, do you offer trips to Malapascua from the resort?
I understand your question because of the treasure sharks, most probably, but no, that's too far away. On land by car, it would already take you from Cebu, where the airport is. It would take you 3 hours to drive up north. So by boat, we can't make that.
Bruce is asking, where's the nearest chamber?
For the island of Cebu, the nearest chamber is on Cebu. And there is helicopter service that can be arranged because from Mobile to Cebu, if it's not in a very hurry, we could do it just by car. If there is a hurry, then there's always the helicopter service that can take you really fast from Mobile to Cebu. And on BOHOL, there's a chamber in Tagbilaran, so also on the same island. So both islands have a chamber.
Then Mike is asking, are the whale sharks all year round?
Yes, they are. Yes, because they need to feed themselves all year round. So if there's a storm passing by, maybe 1 or 2 days, they go a little bit deep, they get cranky, like we all would do, but then they appear. So we have never had a day that we went there and they were just out. No, they're always there.
Then Deborah is asking about the water temperature. What month is the warmest water temperature?
The warmest is the July, August, because that's the summertime also for Philippines, even though we're close to the equator. And then it gets up to the water temperature that's Fahrenheit 84, Celsius 29. The coldest, that's around Christmas, where it can get as cold as 26 degrees Celsius, so that's about 78 Fahrenheit.
Anne is asking if Fluency offers COVID insurance coverage. So that's a huge chapter. In a short sentence, yes, with limitations. Manulife for Canadians and CSA for Americans. There is some COVID coverage in there. It all depends on what the travel advisory is for Canadians, what is covered. It's important that everybody thinks about this, and COVID coverage has two components. One is cancellation, as in, can you cancel when you test positive / get sick with COVID before you go? And then the second part is, are you covered with medical costs if you catch COVID in destination? Which then also goes into the question, if you need to quarantine in destination because you got COVID and you can't go home, does insurance cover the quarantine? So there is a lot more things to be involved with that. Anne is then also asking, and this is for you, Desiree, is it feasible to do 5 days at each resort within one trip? How is the transfer done from one resort to the other, and how long does that take?
Yes, doing a 5-5 it's really feasible. It's really nice, and you get a beautiful variety of different dives that you get to make, and also some land trips that you could do. If you do an early departure, an early breakfast from one resort, then we drive you up to the ferry. You go onto the ferry, you get to the other island. There we pick you up with the car and bring you to the other resort, where you can have a late lunch and do an afternoon dive. The ferry itself takes 2 hours, and they're not Filipino time because they go strict on time. So that's really nice when you get there and you know that the ferry is supposed to leave at 10 in the morning. It will be 10 in the morning. So it's altogether a 5 to 6 hour trip. And on the ferry, I mean, you are between the islands. You get lovely views. You won't get bored.
We will conclude the Q&A. Just as a reminder, our anniversary trip, again, thanks to the team at Magic Resorts, 9 nights, which is a combo trip between the 2 resorts, just like Desiree just described, and includes diving. Obviously, you can always add more diving to it during that time, and every booking made with us over the next 10 more months will be entered into this draw. Our next 2 weeks traveling Thursday, we are going to something that probably somewhere where many of you probably have been, to Cozumel with Dive Paradise. I think Dive Paradise and Cozumel was the first dive trip that I ever booked in 1997 when we first started. So there's some special memories there. And on that day, we will announce our next challenge from the 25th of February to the 24th of March. So stay tuned for that. It'll be at our presentation, also in our newsletter. So Desiree, thank you again so much for getting up in the middle.
You're welcome.
For us. And thank you all for joining us tonight. If you want to leave us some reviews and comments, always appreciated, both on Facebook, Instagram, and Google. And we hope to see you again in 2 weeks. Tell your friends about this. We've got lots more room. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Good night, everyone.